I ain't knocking it, I'm just... So let me just tell you, since Religulous came out, it came out a year ago tomorrow. And criticisms, and maybe you can relate to this in your own life when you have arguments with people. But the first one was, I'm a big meanie because religion gives people comfort, and I made no attempt to reconcile with the faithful. That's what I hear out of Obama all the time that makes me throw up. Whenever Obama gets crazy, I'm like, motherfucker, you better be lying. I know you kind of have to do this because we live in America without that you've started taking the Kool-Aid yourself. But okay. Because when he talks about his mother, he always says she was a secular humanist. A little wink like some of mine, but I can't really say it because, the mental patients who run this country would get all upset about it. But yeah, about mocking them. I don't want them to confuse respect with tolerance. I meet people all the time, and they want my respect. And Bill, I'm with you. I only believe in the core story. Well, that's the stupidest part, You can have my tolerance. And speaking of the core story, I must say, there's a bit that I do in my stand-up act sometimes, and I have to come clean. It's really ripped off from Richard Dawkins. God delusion. That's where the funny parts, when you describe think of you when people say, I'm with you, Bill. I only believe in that central part of it. Right, the part where God said to his son, God has a son. I have a problem with that. God to have sons. What is this, Bonanza? Sons. And then they always say, well, God had to do things like that so people could understand. To which I say, why didn't he just make us smarter? God had a son. And he said to his son, Jesus, I'm going to send you down to earth on a suicide mission. But it is going to hurt for a couple of days. I'm not going to lie about that. You're going to hate me. But I'm telling you, son, it's the best thing for you. I mean me! What am I saying? You, me. We're the same person. Anyway, son, here's the plan. I got... Wink, wink. I'll go down to earth first. We'll split up the work, because there's two of us. Not really. But I'll go down to earth first, and I'll see if I can't find a Palestinian woman to impregnate so that she can give birth to... Yes, they're cousins. It's a silly story, but that's a bit which I love to do in my other life as a comedian. I do owe that bit to you, so I'll send you a little something. Mad at me. You are mad at me, I'm fine. But, okay, so the other criticism that bothers me is this, but it helped me when I hear this from people. It helps me focus and remember what may be my single calling in life. Because when they say, that's it, that's what I have to do in life. Maybe that's what everybody here should do. Make that connection for people. I think that's the crux of it. When people say, what harm does it do? You got to connect that to some real shit. Because it really does harm people. So like some examples of that, the Pope recently... Why are you on his Facebook page? Is that why? The Pope does have a Facebook page. And the creepy thing is, under relationships, it says it's complicated. But the Pope recently was in Africa for a reunion with Rommel. No. Oh my God, at an atheist convention, I got booed doing a Pope joke. That's so cool. I'm too hard on the Pope for you? Fuck, where is the audience that can take this? I'm a bad, bad man. I am a bad, bad man. Anyway, yeah, the former Nazi Pope. No, he was not a Nazi. I've never, said he was a Nazi. He was a child in Germany. I had much worse things to be mad at the Pope about. Most ravaged by AIDS, and he told them not to use condoms. So that would be an example of how does it hurt anybody? Yeah, people will die in Africa. Stem cell research. Okay, for 8 years in this country, we could not do stem cell research because President Jesus loves me. Basically cock-blocked it. And this is something that can benefit a lot of people. But, the Jesus crowd, which is not an evangelical view, won out on this stem cell research. And a stem cell, as you know, is just a little microscopic glob of goo, or as conservatives call it, a baby. But you know what they do with these stem cells mostly? They freeze them. You can't do that with a baby. Because I know if you could, people in America would do that in a minute. They'd be like, oh yeah, we're a little jammed up now. We want to go to Italy in the fall, but we're just going to, when we come back, we're going to defrost that baby. Just always in warm water, by the way. Never in the microwave. But, there is literally not a week that goes by where I couldn't fill up my entire hour I do on HBO with just religious stories in the news. Stories that are directly about religion and what it does to